I hate all hills.
Except downhills.
I do. I like downhills. Yeah.
Gravity's your friend.
Yes. It is that time before we begin. That's right. Sponsor mentions everybody. We're going to start with Cycle Systems Online tonight. How much do you spend on bike repairs? How much do you know about working on your own gear? Well, you want to improve your skills? You want to gain knowledge about new technology? Cycle Systems has a fully integrated online platform that will help you master your maintenance and repair skills to the level of a master, like Jedi Master shit here. I just spent time learning the ins and outs of SRAM shifting today, and they also have a new one on the new Campy shifters, which is actually like completely servicing them, everything you can do, all in a step-by-step process. It's really cool. I feel completely confident I can keep things rolling smoothly. We have a link at packfiller.com. Take a look, get some information, try a few samples, and start your journey to mechanical mastery thanks to Cycle Systems Online. Gooder sunglasses, you guys, fit style, polarized lenses, and so affordable you can buy the whole year long. Get to Packfiller. I screwed up the name of my own company. Get to the link and use PackFiller15 for a shot at a discount code. Affordable excellence might just be a bit more affordable. And finally, Scratch Labs. Join the revolution. Proper fuel can taste great and not mess with your stomach. Scratch Labs has it all, including high-carb mix to get you through the longest of the fall fondos, which we are running out of. We are severely getting to the end of everything, and it's depressing me. Like we were just, before we started the show, we were just talking about indoor riding, and I'm not ready. Although I've done it.
There's a few cyclocross races left, just saying.
You haven't been to a single one yet, though, so shut up.
I was just there last Wednesday.
Did you race?
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it.
Okay, sorry.
Kind of well.
Sorry. Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. While last week's show was sure funny and interesting, I hope Packfiller doesn't pull a Remco and lose their mojo for this week.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so mean. Well, worry not, Fair Cycling Podcast listener. We are here and we never back off. Always full gas. This is Life on Two Wheels. This is a Packfiller podcast live from the Rim Break Bar. That's it. Good night, everybody. I'm Pat Bulger. Let's see who's here. And if you're with us live on YouTube, you already know. Tonight's prologue question, you guys. If you were invisible for a day, what would you do? If you had 24 hours of invisibility, what would you do? I always give a moment of the theme to play while Paul thinks about what he's going to do, because he's always introduced first of all. His nightmares are filled with tire sealant and sound like wet rim brakes, Mr. Paul Main. How are you, man?
Good. They don't squeal like disc brakes in the wet.
Your dreams don't?
No.
Your nightmares.
The nightmares.
Yeah. God, did you hear the Welta today? It was just like,
terrible.
oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
My brakes were like, oh, I'll get to that later. First of all, if you were invisible for a day, what would you do, man? Boy,
I was trying to come up with something clever. I just don't know if that's really an advantage.
Really?
But yeah, I don't think. What would that do? What could you do? I would like to mess with some people.
Exactly.
Kind of
That's I think the thing.
But I'm trying to think who would
injury-free messing.
Yeah.
You don't want to hurt people.
You could really gaslight somebody with that.
You could blame them on other things, like I didn't do that.
Yeah.
It was just him. So you got nothing.
That's
fair.
I would just
I throw these questions
just I'd just screw with somebody.
Screw with people.
I haven't picked somebody out yet.
All right, thanks.
Including Sam.
There you go.
There we go. Yep.
Totally messed with Sam.
Yep.
He would think his house was haunted so quick.
Move stuff around.
So
move like his tools around so he doesn't know where anything is.
He'd fall
in
for
his
it
shop.
immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be
Tickle
good.
the back of his neck, blowing his ear.
Yep.
That type of stuff.
Somebody's getting frisky with it.
Yeah.
Next, his dreams are filled with cafeteria cookies and perfect doppio shots, Mr. David Waples. Right?
It's true, yeah.
You make the best espresso I've had outside of a paid professional.
I just got a new bag today, too. Some nice single origin. I haven't read the bag yet, but very excited.
Of cookies?
No, no cookies.
Coffee first.
Yeah.
Always coffee.
Coffee, you have to have coffee before you can order a cookie. Invisible. Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is I would just enjoy being able to hide from everybody. And I would just maybe I thought about going on a bike ride, but that's probably a bad idea.
Just a random bike with nobody on it.
Yeah, or there's that. But yeah, I think it'd just be nice to just be able to do whatever you want and nobody could ask you anything.
That's
because
true.
they wouldn't even know you were there.
It's like the days before cell phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you could get out of reach before cell phones. Now it's like they expect you to be within contact at all times.
Yeah.
And it just dawned on me who I'd like to screw with.
Who?
Those who like to camp out in the parking lot at our place.
Oh,
yes.
boy.
You could really mess with somebody.
I would.
I would have so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's who.
There we go. Next, he doesn't dream. He has a cat. Mr. Jackson Bulger.
Oh.
You don't get to sleep that deep. You don't get that full, refreshing sleep.
He's getting better. He's getting a lot better, yeah. He doesn't scratch on the door. He just scratches other things.
Oh, great.
So, yeah.
Great.
He's a great guy, though. What would I do if I were to be invisible? I thought of stealing things, but then I think I felt too guilty after I thought about that.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's just like the repercussions of stealing somebody else's stuff.
And it's like all the things I would want to steal from, local business probably. Like, I don't want to put a bike shop out of business by taking...
Yeah, steal bank. It's all insured.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. It's all
You're
fake
like
anyways.
It's a write-off, Jerry.
Do you know what a write-off is?
Write it off.
Do you know what a write-off is? It's a write-off.
It's a write-off.
But I think I would want to... Yeah, I think mess with people, like coming like to one of your guys' house or like one of my friend's house, and just like move everything slightly to the left or to the right, so when they're walking, they like run into it now.
Okay.
Because they think,
I don't think you have to be invisible for that. You could just next time.
But that's breaking and entering.
You have a key to this place.
Oh, yeah.
Fair enough.
So, oh my God! What your mother would do is everything was shifted. She'd just be like, we're moving. The house is haunted." Speaking of dreams, the voices in my head keep me awake. I don't dream either. I'm Pat Bulger, and if I was invisible, I had time to think about this because I wrote the question.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I would throw rocks at cars that run red lights. Just sit somewhere. It's like, smash. Don't run the red light, you douchebag. That's what I do.
Would you write that on the rock?
Don't throw the red.
Yeah.
Don't that'd be really good.
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
Yeah.
Or go around the parking lot and people who take up 2 spots, like
Key 'em.
Slash
key
their
'em
tires.
a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
I got these parking tickets I can put on people's cars. My favorite one is it says, "The way you pulled in makes me wish your dad had pulled out." And then there's another one that says, "I hope you're better between the sheets than between the lines."
Oh.
And you just put it on their windshield.
I had one that said, "Thank you for parking so close. Next time, leave a fucking can opener so I can get my car out. Assholes like you should ride the bus." Is a little scrap of paper, and I photocopied them off because my dad gave me one. My dad gave me one. I was in high school, and so I was like, I'm photocopying these suckers off. So I'd put it on their cars and drive away. Yeah, it was really good. It was good times. Yeah, Sam's texting us. That's why everybody's phone is going off.
I'm also figuring out that I'm the only one. I was going to say I'm the only one who has his phone on silent.
Mute.
Yeah. No, my phone is on. It's just my watch was making the sound.
Oh.
Yeah. And I got to have my watch on. You never know. I could drop dead any minute.
That's true.
Yeah. So, fall is rapidly approaching. The pumpkin spice and cyclocross Embro cream fill the air. Gentlemen, how is your cycling life going? Should we start with Racer Boy over there?
I won last Wednesday.
You what?
No way. That's crazy.
Awesome.
What?
Yep.
Wait, where's I gotta?
You beat that other guy, huh?
Yeah, there was this one other guy there that smoked him.
After I put a stick in his wheel.
Yep, broke it. Yep.
Wow. You won.
I won. It was, I feel like there was a good turnout too, and I just felt very, very good.
I'm sorry. Did you say there's a good turnout of 2?
Of 2, yeah. No, there was a good turnout too. Like there was
Also,
actually
really?
some,
Also 2.
yeah,
Dude.
also 2 others. Yeah, it was great. So, and then I've been, I feel like, focused because of that, and I also have been on rotations where I don't have time to exercise until like 6:30 at night. You guys were all texting me to ride this weekend. I was like, okay, if you want to ride in the dark.
Yeah.
But I was actually coming home and like throwing lights on and going for rides.
Wow.
I got a little second wind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well
Nice.
done. Well done.
So you guys should come out tomorrow night, huh?
Yeah, right.
Honestly, you could ride your road bike on this course.
It's like the fastest guys is a 45-minute race. It's max.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are all 30 minutes, which is like boom, over before you know it.
Yep.
Not too bad. So
And it's in the dark too.
yeah.
You got to wear lights.
Oh, really? Did you run with lights last night?
Yeah.
Last Wednesday?
Well, okay, last Wednesday they moved the race up because they couldn't get they always have one light to light one corner.
Okay.
But because of the fires, there's no lights. So they moved it up to 6:30, so I didn't have lights.
Oh,
but
okay.
This tomorrow night I've got 3,000 lumens.
Oh, okay. Because we hit sundown at 7:00 right now. So
Yeah, the race starts at 7:30.
Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah. It'll
Wow.
be dark. It'll be dark. It'll be dark. Paul Jackson, how's your cycling life going?
Great. Yeah.
All right then. No.
It's just. I also kind of feel like I have my second wind.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I needed it, and so now I feel the motivation to bring it into the the off season, and then it's not that it feels weird, but it's not that long until we get going again.
Classics are coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Deal with it.
Because when I really broke it down, there's maybe max of 2.5 months where we can't ride outside.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not that long.
No.
really?
Yeah, without ice or snow, I feel like.
What are the 2.5 months in your?
I would
vision?
say November's pushing it.
Yeah.
But not always. I would say December and January, and then February is when it kind of starts to get a little bit
Absolutely.
February.
melty. Yeah.
Where do you people live? No, February sucks here.
I can go back on my Strava and you'll see it.
Have you forgotten about global warming? It's warm in February, bro.
And here's the other plus: El
well.
Nino year. And we're supposed to
Exactly.
We are supposed to have low snowfall.
Yes.
We are supposed to.
So
have low snowfall.
we could even get a chance to ride all the way into December this year, which would be kind of nice.
Yeah.
But
I will believe it when I see it.
to counter exactly what you're saying, not 2 years ago did you and I do our first outdoor road ride at the end of January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
We've done it a couple
We've
of
gone
times.
a January 1st ride
Yeah.
before.
But we didn't last year because last year was a pretty heavy
Snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Okay.
I'm
All right.
I'm trying to stay outside as long as I can because that's
Yeah.
what keeps me kicking.
Yeah.
Last time we had one of those really light winters, I remember doing mountain bike rides in December and in January on those off warm days. The one, 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you could get out on a mountain bike, yeah.
Mountain bike.
Yeah.
It's got these bouncy, it's a little bit more bouncy than
Poofy
you're used to.
tires.
Yeah. It won't feel as good on your prostate, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're into
I
that
like
sort
it.
of thing.
It's
I like
true,
my
yeah.
prostate hammered.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I figured. I took one look at you and I knew.
There you go.
Yeah. Paul, speaking of which, how's your cycling life?
Well, I was going to meet you guys on Saturday. I woke up. I don't know. Since I got back from nationals, I just felt a little bit tired.
Yeah.
But I thought, I'll just ride through it. But when I woke up Saturday, I just did not feel, I don't know, a little off. Going up the stairs, I'm like, wow, maybe I was coming down to something.
Yeah.
So I took it easy. I rode Sunday by myself because I got crickets. I said, who's riding tomorrow?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Anyone? Bueller?
Yeah, I
Nothing.
don't
Didn't I offer? I told you I'd ride with you after
Yeah, at
dark.
6:30.
Yeah, at 6:30 at night.
That was very kind of you. Yeah.
I gotta get
But
crickets.
I went out and just did 7 mile, and I just felt like crap. And then I rode today, and still don't feel all that good. But
wow.
like I told my wife, I just said,
Next year.
she goes, she always asks how's the rides, how's the ride, and that's always good to hear. And I just said, I don't know. And I think some of it is because I know the season's over. I have no drive. As soon as the schedule comes out, like January 1st, man, my blood pressure, everything's just like, woo!
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
As soon
Okay.
as things are on the calendar,
Yeah.
even though if I probably most likely won't be able to do what I want to do because of family stuff, that's a reason to go ride in bad weather and all kinds of weather.
Yeah. I'm on I did get some rides in Wednesday. For some reason on Wednesdays I've been riding. Apparently the show just oh my god, I gotta go. And so I've been getting Wednesdays in. And Saturday I got that ride in with Jackson. And Sunday, my wife and I went for a mountain bike ride in Riverside State Park. It wasn't anything big. My wife hadn't been on her mountain bike in a long time, and she's like, I really want to go. And I'm like, sweet. Okay.
Did she listen to the podcast?
She did listen to the podcast, and I do have to tell you that, speaking from experience, David, your advice is bullshit.
did not work.
There's always a standard of deviation.
Meanwhile, in Jackson's mind.
Yeah. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear.
Well, I mean, not really, because
we knew
there
it
was
happened
nothing.
once.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
There was nothing. You're right. So you can't be terrified of nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We all knew it happened once. But that was the last time.
It was really nice. It was really nice, and I do have to say that for my mountain bike, it was I took the number plate off of my mountain bike from the Wednesday night series
2 years
from
ago.
2 summers ago.
2 summers
Yeah,
ago.
not
Wow.
this summer. Yeah, I didn't do it this summer because of the ticker, and then so it was 2 summers ago, and I tuned up the bike, got it, going, and I realized not only did the bike need a major tune-up because I had neglected it, but the front tire came with the bike, and I bought the bike in 2015.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but it works. I mean, it's a lower tread now because that's what's cool. So I just wore it out.
Wore it down.
I made the tire
Yeah.
cool,
Yep.
like vinyl records. I just kept
Came back
using it
around.
until it came back around.
Yeah.
I am taking the use it or lose it approach, though. I have to keep on top of things. No real time off per se. Although I'm going to ride out until I can't. Ride outside until I can't. Although with the nights coming earlier and daytime, work shifts being worse, it's getting harder. I'm working on a new habit right now, and I'm going to write an article for the Pack Filler about this, about morning workouts and about training yourself to. I'm programming myself. Today I got up a half hour earlier than I normally do, and I just I didn't work out. I just got up. I want to start training my body to get used to that alarm at a specific time. And I want to get to the point where I'm about an hour 15 before where I normally get up, go downstairs, do strength training, do whatever riding, depending on the day. And I just want to train my body to get up that early. And I know it takes, what do they say, 20 some days to form a habit.
Something like that.
And so I'm like, and apparently whoever said that, doesn't include weekends. So it's like when you stop drinking, you're like going, okay, I'll stop drinking, but I'll just only drink on the weekends.
Right.
So I'll only
night.
and Tuesday night. So I'll only sleep in on the weekends. So I'm thinking Monday through Friday, I'm going to work my way up to getting up at about 5:00. Maybe a little bit before 5. And I'm going to see if I can do that because I need to, because that is what happens every year where things start to fade away. When I'm going to work, I have to be at work no later than 7:30 a.m. and then I don't get home until about 5:30 p.m. And when you get home at 5:30 p.m., if you're me, you're like, oh, I'm going to cook dinner, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to have a beer with my wife, and then next thing you know, it's time to go to bed. And the days just disappear that way, and I'm sure everybody has that. How are you guys going to fit it in? Is it just whenever you can, or are you guys able to do the morning thing?
Well, my morning start, I get up at 5:30 in the morning. But
you do?
Yeah.
Just no matter what.
I start making coffee.
Bowl of bran.
And then I do...
Bowl of bran.
Yeah. I like it.
My morning constitution.
Yep. And so, yeah, then I make my lunch and eat my breakfast, and then I start doing by 6:30, I'm doing my takeoffs on my phone. I'm already working.
Yeah.
And so,
okay.
What's a takeoff?
So anyway,
Jackson, grab
phone
Sam's
calls
if you need.
come in for inspection.
Oh,
You good?
So I do these takeoffs and stuff, and my onlines at 6:30 come in. Then I start working on my schedule and take phone calls all the way up till 8:30. Then I hit the road.
Okay.
So
What are you gonna? What do you do to fit it in?
So I'm technically at work till 4:30. So I come home, and I don't take a lunch break. So usually by the time I come home, my wife and I were talking about doing because we're terrible at. We need to stretch. We know our aches and pains and stuff.
Oh,
so,
we're gonna get to that one.
Yeah. So we're gonna get work on some stretch, especially our hips are terrible.
Yeah.
So we're just
You're at
do
that
that.
age,
There's my lunch hour.
where the hips are going to break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a bad.
my hip.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, geez.
My sciatica. So.
You boys best.
Well, I had back problems, and I went and saw Sam. This is a couple of winters ago.
Back when he was cool.
Yeah. Until
probably made it worse, didn't he?
It was fine seeing him once in a while. Now I see him 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Not, Anyway, so he gave me some exercises and some stuff that I should work on to open my hips, and I did it for a while. And what do you think happened?
It worked.
Yeah, it's all done. It's fixed now. And then
my shoulders are fucked up again because I stopped doing what he told me to do. Yeah. So you didn't? Did you say when you're going to?
Yeah, probably. I do a little bit of by the time I have a lunch break. My lunch break is when I come home. That's when I'll take my lunch break. So you're talking 60 to 90 minutes is all you're basically looking at in weekdays. Yeah, and if that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
On the weekends, it'll be a different story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jackson, when are you going to fit yours? And you're fortunate enough that you don't have to stay too late in the day, right?
Right. Yeah. So I end the day at 4.
Okay.
So I get to come home and I can do stuff. Obviously, I don't want to do something too long.
Yeah.
But I would put something into an hour on indoors wise. But I mean, other than that, right now I'm still able to, with daylight, go out and do like some of the local rides. But yeah, it's an after work thing for me. I'm not planning on getting up early because I do work kind of like a high movement, high stress job. So like I want to keep that sleep for sure. But yeah, it's an after work thing.
That's what I'm trying to figure out if it's, what it's going to do. It is so easy to reach over and just turn off the alarm and go, one more hour sleep. I need it. And maybe I don't. I don't know. David, you're all over the place though, schedule wise.
Yeah. So I just fit it in when I can. I mean,
you just make it up as you go kind of a thing?
Make it up. I look at my weeks like on a week to week basis and try to figure out when I can fit a ride in. And lately it's with the sun not rising until, I don't think it comes up until 6:30 because I was riding to work last week, and the sun was coming up at 6:30 on the e-bike, mind you. Doesn't count as a bike ride. Yep. But like in the summers though, that's why I do it, and that's why I make the morning ride at 5:30 is because that's my time of day. When I put in like a 12-hour shift, I can do it beforehand as long as I don't start until 8.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's either at night or on the trainer at night. It's just whenever I can fit it in, and then if I get the chance on the weekend, I'll do a long ride. But I don't have a normal schedule, unfortunately, so I don't have like a routine. But I think that actually gives me more motivation than most people because I have to take every opportunity I can get because I don't know when the next available time for me to ride will be. So like I got off yesterday 2 hours early, and I got to go for a 2.5 hour ride.
Wow. Because
I got off early, and there was no question in my mind. I was like, I'm off early. I'm going for a bike ride. Nothing can stop me.
Really?
Yeah. So
it's hard when I come home and it's like, okay, I'll just sit down for a minute and then that's it.
Yeah. After work is the worst.
Yeah. Especially, if you come home at 5:30, 6 o'clock, it's like, dinner's a big deal to me. And it's not necessarily the, food, it's the ritual of it. It's the preparing something. I like to cook, and I always, I'm the guy who wakes up in the morning and immediately starts asking people what they want for dinner that day. And I love that. And so I've got to either relax on that or work out in the mornings. So that's it.
Well, you want to know something that I've recently discovered is that I talked about a meal service, like delivery service the other week.
Yeah.
And I know, hold your horses here, but I've been actually cooking a good majority of them. And I can still get home, do all the workout and everything, and then it gives you that opportunity to like, it's 30-minute prep or 45-minute cooking process. So like stuff like that is really nice too, because I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, I've started this time of year. It's easier to do it. I use the Instant Pot stuff like that, where you can just lock it in and do it, and then it'll cook, and then it'll bing, and then you can just eat it whenever you're ready.
That's nice.
That helps, and it's quicker too. That works really well. So I got it, because if I don't this year, I'm never gonna make it. So I gotta figure it out. So everybody, listen to this. Let me know how you guys figure that out. You did mention e-bikes, and this has nothing to do with the progress of the show, but I do want to bring this up because it was something I saw on the trails this weekend. And I think this could probably be a topic within itself. But there are a lot of e-bikes out there that don't require you to pedal. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's different degrees of
like no pedaling.
Yeah.
Like they have a thumb thing, right? Like a
I don't
throttle.
know. I see people on the trails and they're coasting, and for the 45 seconds they pass me, they're still moving, and I haven't seen their pedals move.
They have a throttle. Yeah.
I see those on the trails.
No.
And Riverside State Park, where we were riding, is a non-motorized trail network. I know this is going to get people up in arms and get people pissed off about it and say, why are you hating e-bikes and stuff like that. But that's a motorbike.
Yeah.
That's not an e-assist bike.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to draw the line. Am I reaching? Am I going to piss people off with this? But I was like, that's a fucking motorcycle you're riding by me on.
Mm-hmm.
The problem, the biggest problem for me on that is that I think a lot of people who have those are not accustomed to the speed that they're traveling. I mean, they're enjoying it.
Jesus, I got on David's and rode out of my driveway and almost killed myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and you know that I think a lot of people all of a sudden they can accelerate to 30 miles an hour and with their reaction time.
Yeah.
If you ride at a constant basis, and even for me, if you think the beginning of the season when you do a crit, you're like, whoa, things are happening so fast.
Yeah.
And by the time you're in the middle, back in my heyday, it's like everything slows completely down. You could be at 30 miles an hour in the whole crit. People are bumping, and it's nothing.
Right.
So you throw these people on the weekend. This is the danger, I think, to these things personally.
Yeah.
And they're going 30 miles an hour, they're having a good time, and then a cat runs out in front of them, and you are messed up.
These guys aren't going fast. I mean, they were crawling, but I and I'm probably being a grumpy asshole telling people to get off my lawn. But the principle of it is motorized bikes go someplace else.
Mm-hmm.
This is not for this type of a device. And I mean, I'm not going to be the guy to enforce it. I'm not going to go up on the trails going, hey, you assholes, get off of my trails. There are plenty of people out there who will do that kind of shit. People who put sticks across the trail because they're runners and they don't like bike riders, kind of thing like that. Absolute assholes.
Runners.
Well, a couple of months ago, I had the chance to talk to one of our local bike shop owners, and it was really interesting to hear his perspective on e-bikes and everything, because he was talking about how of a specific age, certain riders sometimes can't achieve the things that others can, and that was what he saw for a cool aspect of e-bikes. And I think that's really great that somebody maybe who isn't in the shape of, I mean, I'm not going to toot our own horns here, but of a road cyclist who trains to race.
I'm cool with that.
But yeah, exactly. And I think that's what's really cool. But I think when you begin to venture in a little bit more to those pushing it to motorbike kind of areas, then you kind of ruin it for the rest of them. Just like a person living downtown in your parking lot who's riding against the flow of traffic on a one-way, it's
not an e-bike, it's a moped now.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I think that e-bikes are great, and I think they have a lot of great applications, but I just hate that people are out there doing that and giving the e-bike riders, actual e-bike riders, kind of a bad name.
And again, I'm probably being a prick because the people I saw were not cyclists. Right. They were just kind of normal folks who were just out there riding the trails, having a good time, and they were smiling. And and I smiled back, I didn't say anything. Everything was under my breath. My wife heard it, but no, but I was like, when are we going to draw the line? Because eventually you're going to get some people out here on fully motor assisted bikes, right, who are going fast, and something's gonna happen, and it's gonna go wrong.
I'm wondering if the rule is because of the noise for internal combustion, and so there's never been any
trail damage, maybe from the skidding and the
that's right, the
acceleration
speed and everything. So if that starts getting to a point, I'm sure they're going to be. Like I said, I can't remember how e-bikes work, but there's different levels or grades or whatever, and so they probably say at level 3, nothing over level 3 or whatever.
Level 3 is a 28 mile an hour assist.
Is it?
Which is freaking fast, and that's I think that's the issue, is that you shouldn't have people going that fast on a trail where you have hikers and other cyclists. And the other issue is that the guy going by you with his thumb on the trigger, his weight is so wrong on the bike, or hers. That's where people get into crashes, is that they're on a bike treating it like a motorcycle. They're designed to be ridden. They're designed to go around corners in the position of I'm putting power into the pedals, not I'm sitting back on my wheel and I'm just going to turn the bike. And so I think it actually, like, I think they're very dangerous. Obviously, I see a lot of injuries in the hospital from people on e-bikes, and it's because you're riding at a speed that you don't, I don't want to say you don't deserve it, but like to ride 30 miles an hour, you have to know how to ride 30 miles an hour. You can't just have something push you 30 miles an hour around a corner. So, I mean, I also have had bad experiences. I had somebody yell at me to get out of the way going up a hill at Beacon because they were on an e-bike, and I was like, man, screw you. Like, you, oh, God. Just don't even get me started, man.
You
like,
douchebag. You can stop and reaccelerate out of nowhere.
Yeah, I can't stop. Yeah.
Yeah, God. I don't know. But I also agree. I chased a guy up a mountain in Colorado on an e-bike. He was 80 years old, and it took me forever to catch him.
Yeah.
And I get there and I see him. I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude! This guy's riding up this mountain on an e-bike."
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I was very close to buying one because of my heart thing. I was thinking, if I'm going to stay, if this AFib shit is not going to be fixed, I'm going to get one of these so I can ride with you guys. So if it's got a on the road maximum speed of 28 miles an hour or something like that, there's a good portion of every ride I could ride with you guys on that kind of stuff. And I was like, shit, I'm going to do it so I can keep going out and doing this. So don't add us because we're anti e-bike. I am not anti e-bike at all. I understand it. I was just questioning the rules here where
it should be pedal assist. You shouldn't. I don't like the throttle. My e-bike kit came with a throttle. I didn't put it on because I don't want to. Like, I don't think you should just. It's a motorcycle then. That's not an e-bike.
Yeah, that feels a little bit different.
Yeah, interesting because obviously I had the day off, and my wife and I walked our dog Flanders, and a guy came by with like a Rad, which is one that has a throttle, and that guy's like, "Excuse me," and he's very polite, but he's flying by, and this is on the Centennial Trail where there is a maximum speed of 15.
Yeah.
And he's flying by. I mean, I'm sure he's going over 15.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, I just said, I don't even like riding my road bike because I have to do 15 and there's people. It's not, I can ride elsewhere.
Yeah.
So, but that is a problem even on paved trails with these.
Yeah. And I think that's an interesting point that you bring up too, David, is that like a lot of people haven't understood the feeling of what the pace that these bikes can really bring. Because like I mean I've been learning this summer that like a specific speed in a crit is like something that you have to really feel comfortable under. And like if you've never ridden a bike and you pick up one of these and you just hit it full tilt, like that's a learning curve, and that's a dangerous learning curve.
And I mean, we have a e-bike rental service here in Spokane, and that I'm sure a lot of most major cities do. But the thing about it is in the downtown area, they can control the maximum speed on those bikes. They have it is a governor of some sort on it, and they can't hit a certain speed. But you get a homemade e-bike, and people are hauling ass.
Mine goes 35.
Does it really?
Mine's above the like class whatever level, because they're only supposed to assist you up to 28.
It's like a jailbreaked phone. You just
the governor is set to 60, but I don't have the gears. Like, because it spins out at 35.
Oh my god!
You get motor pace behind that.
That's how I think the race went so well, is because Danielle motor paced me out there on that bike, and so I was super warmed up for that cross race.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that would be fun.
It was
somebody
really fun.
on a good e-bike to motor pace you for workouts.
It was a blast. Yeah.
Holy shit! Wow. Okay, something to think about. A positive at the end of it. So, you guys, I'm going to jump into some news headlines because we got some news going on. We haven't done it for a while. Brought to us by our friends at Athletic Brewing. Great taste, low-calorie, non-alcoholic craft brews for any time and any season. Their Oktoberfest is available now. Use the link at packfiller.com. Well, that sounded like Alex Jones. Return to the Frogs, gay. Well, the Welt is not going quietly into the night. I hope at least 3 of us. Hi, David. are paying attention. On today's Stage 16, Jonas Vingegaard showed us that there are truly no gifts in cycling. or he just needs to keep giving gifts to everybody because, everybody's like, I'm dedicating this win to this and this win to this and this win, tomorrow he's going to like race for Sepp's birthday. By taking his second stage win of the race and narrowing his lead on Sepp Kuss by just 29 seconds going into the final brutal week. And there's been a lot of uproar over this one today. You've got three guys on the same team in the top three. There is the thought that maybe, hey, a good tactical move on the final climb would be for the person of the lowest ranked of those three riders in third place, which Jonas was, to attack. He did.
In honor of what? Reason why they wanted to win that stage.
Well, it was for
Nathan Van Hooydonk, who had a car accident, and he was in a coma at the beginning of the race.
Yeah.
They got news at the base of the race that he was out of his coma and doing well.
Okay.
So that supposedly...
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
However, the process in which it played out was very interesting, especially for those of us on the United States of American soil. He had the gap. There are race radios. There was comments probably, hey, Jonas, you've got a gap. Nobody's chasing. Everybody's chilling out. Hold this distance. Don't keep going balls to the walls, but then there's also the theory that, hey, there are no gifts, Sepp, you got to race to win the race or something like that. This reminds me of Le Mans versus Hinault in 1986.
Or how about Wout and
85
and Christophe Laporte?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
That was a gift moment. So, thoughts on how this played out and thoughts on the fairness of it. Is life fair?
It's interesting because I think that, I don't know, I'd really be interested to see how Roglic feels about all this.
Roglic is tacked with a little bit left too.
Yeah, I think that sometimes Sepp Kuss, I mean, he's a great team role. Like, he's a great team player. But I think in this case, he's a little he's pushing on too giving sometimes.
Too nice?
Feels like. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, because when I was telling you...
I get that a lot.
I bet.
Yeah. I think I've said it plenty of times.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that I told you this on the weekend, that seeing his attack where he actually jumped groups, 2 different groups.
Sepp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Sepp slowed down and then jumped again to another group was, I feel like a show of pretty intense strength.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that he is somebody who could probably drop I would say 70% or 80% minus 2 of them of the peloton. And so I think that I feel like he should probably go for it a little bit. But I also think that he sees his teammate up the road and he goes, I'll back off a little bit. Mind you, Jonas is like one of the greatest Grand Tour riders of his own generation.
Yeah.
So I think that there's maybe a little bit of gap of strength there. But I don't know. I think they should give it to him because they both won a hell of a lot of races. And it doesn't seem like Remco is really going to bother anything. So
he's now 20 minutes down.
Yeah. Take a 1, 2, 3, I think. And maybe let the first American...
That's what was so confusing about the entire thing today. To take that much time out of the overall lead. Is that a douchey move or is that team tactics?
I think,
we got a bug in here?
We got a fly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think, it's hard to know what's going on inside the team. They're sitting pretty. I think that you would want to send your number 3 guy up the road because number 4 guy's behind trying to draw him out.
Yeah. That
type of thing. It didn't work. So at this point, they wanted to win the stage, I think, because of Nathan Van Hooydonk.
Yeah.
So whether he pressed for time or not, I don't know what's going on. Sepp, at the end, when he crossed the line, went over to Vingegaard and gave him a big hug, and those two were like, buddy. So I don't think he was crushed. So I don't know if that was.
I bet it was something like out of The Godfather, though. It's like, I knew it was you.
Yeah.
We just didn't get to see that part.
Yeah, that's right.
David has no idea the reference I'm speaking of. My God, man, we have to get you cultured.
Well, and watch bike racing because
Yeah.
you can't even contribute.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hearing it. I haven't seen it, but
beer drinking waste of space at the end of the bar.
That's all I'm here for is the beer, to be honest. And you're running out.
Yeah.
I'll go get some, I promise.
But my philosophy has always been you don't chase teammates. So I
didn't.
didn't watch it. Yeah.
So they didn't. They kept it. They kept it legit. Now Wednesday's stage. You might be listening to this on Wednesday, and you might know what happens already because we're recording this Tuesday night. Finishes up the dreaded Angleroo, which is tomorrow. Pitches that hit over 20%. What would you do if you were the Jumbo-Visma director on this stage?
I think
the fly's distracting.
That's not a fly. That's a
bee.
yellow jacket.
Is it really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm allergic to them.
I've already killed 2.
Oh, okay.
Today, so this will be my next one.
Well, let's open the door wide. Here, I'll open the door wide. While you guys answer
your question.
What would you do if you were Jumbo-Visma director, Jackson?
I think I would set up a...
it stung me. I'm going to die. Yeah. I'm kidding.
No. I think I would hope to set up something to where Sepp could have some sort of like a favorable result. Because, I mean, they've got the jersey. If they want the win of three Grand Tours of the year with 3 different winners, that'd be pretty special. And so, I don't know.
Has any team done that? I mean, other than probably
not
years of
in
Eddie
the
Merckx
same
or
year.
something like that.
Not in the same year. They've had back-to-back, like if you go to the next year.
Right.
But anyway, finish up.
Oh, yeah. I think what they should do is kind of lead it out in a way, have one of those trains where one peels off. And then, I mean, honestly, the 3 of those, the 3 of them could really just rotate turns on that final climb,
Yeah.
So, and none of them are going to realistically lose a sizable amount of time to any of their rivals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that climb is, it's all, I mean, there's a couple of big humps before that. And so that climb, once they hit that, it's teammates don't even matter.
It's going to explode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's everybody's riding right at the max, hanging on to it.
Cars are burning out clutches, getting up that thing. Yeah. It's that bad.
Nasty.
I think somebody said it really well on GCN, RIP, that how were they even able to pave that road? It's that steep.
Yeah.
It's that nasty. Wow. Yeah. So,
I think Jumbo-Visma, getting back to the point, so they're sitting on Roglic, who's in 3rd place. Now, if he wins this, he'll be the only person that's won 4 or more Vueltas. No
really?
So they have that. And then either if he or Vindigo win, then they have a winner that won another previous, Grand Tour.
Yeah.
And then if they use Sepp, the first American to win since 2013.
Yeah.
To win a Grand Tour. So, I mean, they're sitting pretty good with
so many accolades.
Yeah,
pick one. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
One thing they don't want to do is screw it up with no 3 of them get in there.
Yeah. And Rick Moss just suddenly kind of takes off and takes everything for himself. So it's going to be it's good. It's been a really good Vuelta. And I remember at the beginning of it, we were all like, going in. Paul was like, I'm going to watch it every day. I don't care what you guys say.
Yeah.
So there we go. I have 2 other news stories, but we run so damn long. First of all, I do want to say congratulations to Lachlan the legend. Not going away quietly is the theme here. He continues to prove that professional cycling can be reinvented by setting a new record, unofficial record, on the Tour Divide. And his unofficial is because the course wasn't the same course as was used in a couple of the years, and he had a film crew with him.
Right.
So if people don't touch him but videotape him, you can't classify it as self-supported.
Well, this was the same issue that...
I'm the guy allergic to a bee, and you guys are all staring at it. Where is it?
Yeah, well, I get a thrill at killing Yellow Jackets.
Where is it?
It's right over
it's
here.
Over by the
right
helmets.
about David.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
This is the same issue that Lael Wilcox had a couple years ago when she wanted... Oh, there it goes. When she wanted to document her own progress through...
And that ride is on Wahoo, on System. You can do a workout to it.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to ride.
Yeah, and so she did that, and she got to a point throughout it where she was like, this is just stupid. Like, why does it matter if, like, I don't see a certain person or if I'm documented? It's a stupid caveat where, I don't know. It's a strict community, I find.
Yeah, the guy was, he did it on an interesting sleep schedule. He said he will not go any more than 48 hours. We were talking about this last week without a 12-hour rest, which is still sleep deprivation, but it's not as serious as what some of these guys go through. And he, massive weather situations, peanut butter mud, saddle sores, trench foot. He finished on a destroyed derailleur and no brake pads.
You know how he shifted that rear derailleur?
With a spoke.
Yeah,
like
he
a broken
spoke in there, and he had to, like a shift the gear. He had to reach down and
That's
move the
crazy.
derailleur.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's innovative.
Yeah. Oh my God! Yeah, keep it going. You know, that was really impressive. So that's awesome on that. USAC held its first national championships on the gravel this last weekend in Gering, Nebraska, which means gravel is officially dead.
Well, surprise, surprise. Who won?
I hear it was some weird guy, Keegan Swanson. Keegan Swanson. Of course he won it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Alexi Vermeulen. I always screw up his last name.
Didn't we have a little bit of a local legend?
Yes, we did. Yeah,
did pretty well.
Stu ended up getting 5th in the 70 plus.
Did he really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy shit! That's awesome.
Phenomenal.
What was different?
Phenomenal.
What's the distance? Do you guys know?
And he was sick. He was sick like the 2-3 weeks prior to that. Too,
Really?
On top of it, yeah.
So
really
what's
bad,
your excuse for nationals now, Paul?
I'm a wimp. I suck.
It's interesting because it seems like North America and Europe have two different visions of what gravel is right now. And with Europe holding the world championships and it being a shorter distance and kind of dirt roady, double tracky kind of thing, as compared to what we here in the States are doing, massive distances, single track sections, you know, almost basically a mountain bike race from the mid-late 90s. It's interesting to see the two and where the sport is heading. I think it's still in its infancy. I think we've still got a lot of growth to do, especially in terms of how it's established and what it is.
Yeah.
But I hate to tell you guys this, it is the savior of U.S. cycling right now. It is saving our asses.
Yeah.
As predominant roadies in this room right now, if it wasn't for gravel, I think we would hang up the bikes and turn off the lights. I don't think road bike racing would have a stinking chance. Am I being melodramatic?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I think because I think.
I'm sorry. And 45-year-old dentists.
Well, I think that National Crit Racing has a pretty good name to it. It's exciting.
Yeah.
The NCL is pretty big. As confusing as it is, it's I think a really, really great place to build.
I just heard that they just let go.
Funny you should
50%
mention that.
Yeah, it's part of the news.
Speaking of the state of U.S. cycling, things aren't going so great in the NCL.
Yeah, I'm not
According
surprised.
to Escape Collective, at least 20 riders across the Denver Disruptors and the Miami Knights, two league-owned teams that competed in the Criterium Series, had their contracts terminated on Monday. A cut of approximately two-thirds of the total roster lineup of those two teams. That's just two teams.
What's the reason?
They didn't give a reason.
So
And
that's
it
the
could be
thing.
budgetary. It could be the classic what most teams do at the end of a season where they release riders.
I have a theory.
You do.
Drugs.
Drugs. They're all stoned.
Where did the big prize money come from? It's like a really big prize
it's
money
huge.
bag
Yep.
at the end of this series. And where did that come from? Maybe it came from a place that wasn't really that liable. And so now that two teams with, I'm not kidding, really big names on it, South African champions on it, are looking at their roster and going, oh my God, we have to provide these people with extremely livable wages if they're going to actually put their time, effort into this.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and be competitive with World Tour cycling. And this wasn't really that sustainable.
And in the same, not the same press release, but more press release, there are two teams being added to the NCL this year.
That's
So it's like, what?
Yeah, we're not getting the backstory on all that. That'd be interesting to see. To me, it's not something as much as I like cycling. I love crit. I could watch crit racing all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I search for like Tulsa Tough and Jeff from NorCal. I watch his stuff. I watch, anytime it comes across my
Dairy
YouTube,
Lands.
I watch. And some of them I'm thinking, this has got to be boring to somebody because I'm just watching just people taking. I even saw me at Nationals.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
You could see me
Rockstar.
start, and I passed the guy who had the camera. And then right before I got dropped, I got on his wheel, and I got stuck back in the wash machine. And then that's the last you see
That's
me.
awesome. Though.
Yeah. But, still, nevertheless, I think crit racing is exciting. And I think it could be. The NCL was... it's still... I tried watching. It's like, I don't understand. Now...
Did anybody watch past the first race?
I watched.
I watched the first race.
I watched the NorCal cycling.
David's like,
Yeah.
I don't watch
That's
bike
all.
racing.
I didn't even know. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even know the NCL. When did this start?
This is its
year.
It's a
inaugural
year
year.
ago. You were in rotation hell, so
Yeah.
we'll cut you
The,
some
the
slack.
last thing that I remember in the Crit World series was the USA Crits. Is this?
Yeah,
That's
that's
separate.
still going.
It's completely
That's still
separate.
fine.
The
Yeah.
NCL is a separate league that has teams representing like towns, and you sprint. There's points for every lap, and
Oh,
you have
yeah.
substitutions
Yeah, yeah.
I
and
haven't
that
seen
type
it.
of thing.
Which is
And-
makes it faster than
I think
Yeah.
a stupid part of it is the qualification process. It's not to qualify for the race; it's to qualify for your starting position.
which is bullshit anyway because it's bike race.
It's not a car race.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's a dumb thing because what happens the day before is you actually are not riding a real bike. You're riding an indoor trainer, and to see the
fuck's
amount of power that you can produce. So if you win the race virtually, you get the best starting position.
It's like pole.
Yeah.
Sitting in pole position.
But then everybody just pack forms. And then the substitutions, it's confusing.
It's a. I'm going to say it. It's a dumb format.
It's too
It is just. It's too confusing, especially if you're, heaven forbid, watching it live.
it's too, in my opinion, Americanized.
Yeah.
It's too short bursts of entertainment along with substitutions that don't make sense in the world of cycling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I like
Yeah.
USA Crits. Nighttime
Yeah.
crashes, big prize purse.
Speed, people getting drunk, watching,
Yeah.
having fun.
Beer hand
Bands
up.
playing.
That's how that's how God intended it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's bike racing.
Whatever happened to the single speed crits? You know?
They,
Yeah.
they
Just
went out.
Yeah.
Head first right
Yeah.
into the ground every single
Mass
night.
humanity of hipsters just going, oh, my
Yeah.
earring.
You know, it's when you bring that up because, like, I think what we're talking about, like road cycling, you think it's dead if it wasn't for gravel. Everything goes in a cycle. Like,
The climate.
no, I'm just like things coming out of nowhere. Pickleball.
Not anymore.
Pickleball.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, where did the hell did this come from? And now everybody wants to do it. Then I said to my wife, I said, remember that those weird runs you had to go through mud and they threw color in your face and all
Yeah.
that? Those are like almost all gone.
Thank
Spartan
God.
run. Yeah,
Give
but,
it 30 years.
but yeah, that's
Yeah.
what happens. And so everything goes into cycles, you know. And
No, I
it's
agree.
Like,
Yeah.
it's only a matter of time. And I think crit cycling is for US is the only thing that can really sustain itself. I mean, you're going to get people involed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of crits, in additional U.S. drama, Jack brought this to our attention.
Oh, man.
yeah, I know.
Everybody lawyered up?
Yeah.
No.
Because it appears that Justin Williams just can't seem to escape the ongoing soap opera that is his creation. According to reports from GCN, USA Cycling investigating Justin Williams and Thomas Gibbons from Automatic Racing over a crash and confrontation that happened in the closing laps of the Denver Audi Littleton Criterium on August 5th. Bonnie Walker, the technical director at USAC and who's handling the investigation, has confirmed that USAC is looking into the crash and was notified both riders. No sanctions have been given at this time. Apparently, the crash and aftermath was not caught by the fixed camera. The folks over at GCN did obtain video from the event, including a lap preceding the crash. And in the video, the two riders are seen battling for position before Williams appears to motion from his line. Interesting
Move.
choice. Yeah. Through the apex of a turn, with he and Gibbons moving all the way to the curb where both riders crash. Apparently, there have not been any comments on this one. Jackson, you were the first one to bring this to attention. So you get to provide your initial thoughts. And we are under a limited liability corporation. So be gentle, but understand that things might be okay. And hopefully they won't take my house.
No, I think, well, you know me. I'm sensitive on all topics.
And love a good docuseries.
I do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I think what it initially struck me as was just a little bit disappointing, because I think that I remember when we first, figured out about this team that that the Williams brothers represent. I think that in its initial stages, it was very much like, let's bring this as a big, like, light to road cycling in the United States, and they have done some really cool stuff.
Absolutely.
And I think these two brothers did a lot of really cool stuff by revolutionizing American cycling through social media. They brought it. They made it cool. They made it where you show up to the start line, and when you're not in your kit, you're wearing Jordans. Like, nobody really did that before they did that. Like the chains that they wore and all the things. They made it seem cool. And so when everybody's telling you that you're cool, I think that sometimes it can have some negative ramifications to that. And I think that we are seeing a different iteration of this team. I think that there are some really, really, they're all beasts. We all know that. They're all people who can ride us off their wheel. And there are some great riders
Quite
on that
literally.
team.
One of them did it a couple weeks ago to you guys.
I was about to say, I think that there are some great riders on the team. Sam Boardman is a really nice guy. And our own Sam could give you an explanation of an interaction that he had with that rider.
Yeah.
And it was pleasant, but
professional, kind, respectful, engaging.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think what's disappointing about this is that we're seeing physical altercations happen, and to me, I think that the impact that this has and the impact that they have on youth and young riders is kind of throwing a shadow. A shadow is being thrown over that, because when young riders look at that and see that the rider that they look up to is fighting, I don't feel like that's great. And I mean, I'm not calling him out. I don't know the guy. He's done a lot of great stuff for cycling, but I just think that tempers need to be a little bit controlled if you're wanting to be somebody who shows up for American cycling.
So I don't know if maybe just the beer or what, but so I don't know if I fully followed what you said. They got in a crash and then they got in a fight.
Yes. What there seems to be quite a bit of constant controversy surrounding this man. And it sounds fairly familiar in our current domestic climate, where it is never truly one individual's fault. This one individual will never claim it's Justin. He always claims it's never his fault. Okay, he's always a victim of these incidents, and maybe that's the case. Maybe that is the case, but it always seems to end up in some sort of childish, horrific, anti-promotion of the sport behavior by both parties involved. And I use the term fast asshole quite often. You have to be a selfish prick to win a bike race to a certain extent. You have to focus specifically on yourself, and you have to think, this is mine. I am taking it. When does that get out of control? And when does I am willing to admit when something's my fault. And I'm sure most people are willing to admit when something's their fault. This guy doesn't seem to have that ability. And I again, if Justin's listening to this and you're pissed off at me, I would love to talk to you about this kind of stuff, because I would love to learn from this rather than, just
point fingers.
Yeah,
for sure.
But there seems to be a lot of situations where this is happening. And although Legion does amazing things for the sport, as you said, Jackson,
for sure.
at one point in time, this shit isn't good.
No.
And, because it happens too often.
And I saw a guy who got footage of a rider in front.
Yeah.
And what's his name that the confrontation is with?
It was with Thomas Gibbons?
Yeah, Thomas.
Yeah.
So Thomas was getting involved with their lead out with a couple of laps to go. And we know when you race crits at that level, there you are pushing and you shoving. And we even did it, and I did it at Tuesday night,
Yeah,
for sure.
So Justin comes up from behind from this camera angle, and he bumps him out, which is fine.
Yeah.
Well, he accelerates to get past him on the outside of this corner. I mean, and Justin buzzes him on the inside, so he tries to accelerate. The next corner, Justin just starts taking him all the way out. And most people stop at a certain point. Thomas is like, no. And he rode it, and they went into the curb. They both
went together.
Went down, and it's hard to tell if it overlapped the wheel, but they were
almost
like,
a game of chicken.
Everybody's line was in the corner, and they just disappeared off to the right.
Wow.
Which Justin was in the lead, but half-wheeled,
Yeah.
So Thomas ends up getting just a fine because there was some language in public, which is good.
Yeah.
They should not have used, and there was. So Justin got suspended, and probably for his actions and for what he said, and he was fined also.
Okay.
So that's, like you said, getting back to your point, that doesn't promote cycling. And I understand the mentality behind this. This guy's really messing up, and Legion really hasn't had a stellar year like they've had in the past.
Yeah.
So you get that frustration, and I totally understand it, and I've been there, and I can't throw the stone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at a certain point, you're like, listen, there's a lot of eyes on that team, a lot of eyes, and you've got to lay down your
lot
sword
of money.
sometimes.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
It's just not good. What is your objective? Your objective is to promote, and that was their deal, promote cycling at a different level and introduce it to the U.S., and they did a wonderful job at that. But at this point in time, kind of like what you're saying is, I think it's turning the other way around, and anybody in that action or around that area that saw that action probably weren't too impressed.
I think that social media can be a powerful influence and also a negative one, because I think that the way that this could have gone in terms of individuals saying, oh, you can talk online, oh, you can do all this stuff, the people on social media need to stop talking. I think what you need to do is share the love in all of the teams, because I'm going to be honest, how many teams can you really name besides Mike Bikes and maybe Evolo? Do you ever see that name anymore?
Yeah. I love their video series that they did a couple of years ago, but
I think that sharing the love and showing that this is a community where everybody can be involved would be great.
Yeah.
And they've done that before. And I think that also sometimes a great attention needs to be paid on what is being looked at. Sometimes your personal feelings about a situation might need to take a back seat to your contractual obligations of what you are showing upon a specific team and sponsors too.
There are moments where emotions are going to get the best of you, especially when you're dealing high adrenaline crit racing, where you are pumped full, and something goes wrong, and you're pissed off, and you are losing your shit.
And this is their day job.
Yeah. And so I'm not. I mean, it's never been my day job, and it has happened to me a lot. I mean, I remember riding my bike home on a flat tire from a crit, and my sister's beside me in the car going, "Get in the car!" And I'm riding down the middle of a residential area, telling my sister to F off at the top of my lungs because I'm just pumped up with adrenaline, and I'm furious.
And the reason you could ride on that flat tire
is because it
wasn't tubular.
It wasn't a tubeless. Yeah, it wasn't a tubeless. So I let He Without Sin cast the first stone. I can't. But I was never a high marquee face of a discipline of the sport. And at some point, maybe some people need to walk up and say, "Hey, man, we got to hold this back. We got to come on.
Yeah.
Let's chill. Let's go do something else." David's shaking his head.
You can't fight. That's not like crashes happen. I've been in so many crashes that were other people's fault. I've caused crashes. That is not how you respond.
I've seen fights even on the local and even like national level.
Yeah,
people do get in a fight.
I mean, you can push all you want in a race, but once you go down, your race is over, and that's you can't fight about it. That's completely unacceptable on all accounts. So
let me ask you guys about these dominating teams. We talk about Legion and what they have done in the U.S. Crit Series. We're talking about Jumbo-Visma and what they're doing. We look at SD Works and what they've done with the women's peloton this year. And the goods, the pros and the cons of seeing these things. I've seen a lot of upset people about Jumbo-Visma taking 1, 2, 3 in the Vuelta. I don't mind it. I think it's pretty freaking amazing.
I can't remember who it was. Jerome Pinel? I think I don't know who. I just read this briefly that he's saying that they have motors in their bikes.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
That's how bad it's got so far.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate.
No.
That's kind of why I kind of brought that up to you, Pat. It's just one of those things that it's like it's fun to watch a dominating team, but and I've been a part of a dominating team on the local level, and it's a lot of fun. But when you're on the other end, I hated dominating, and you just like aim just. How can we break this? You just want to break, and anyway, it's one of those things. Like SD Works is one that I think is a problematic.
Because, okay.
Because only for this simple reason is like seems like through the whole year, 90% of our picks from
had
all of
somebody
us,
from SD Works
or two.
Yeah,
It's one or two of them. And that's not a good balance.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us picked all three.
No.
Jumbo-Visma.
No.
And same with Sky and now Ineos.
I can go through. Molteni primarily with Eddie Merckx. Renault back in the day was a dominating team. La Vie Claire, U.S. Postal, Sky. We had classics teams like Mapei, like Gabus Ballon, which was a Italian team, which all their riders were doped to the gills. Flesh Malone, I think they took 1, 2, 3, and they just rode away from everybody. It was just like going, whoa! Talk about eBikes. I'm
on fire!
Yeah. It was like that. When a team is dominant, am I the only one that when I see a team absolutely controlling everything like that, I immediately shift to another team where I root for the underdog? I mean, think about like New York Yankees fans. I'm just like going, piss off.
Yeah.
I don't root for the Yankees. Or
they're at the bottom of their division right now.
Are they? Okay, yeah. But these super
changed.
teams, these dominating teams, NFL, you can think of teams that are always. I was never a Patriots fan because they were expected to win, and I do that now with cycling teams where I'm just like going, okay, I'm not going to root for you. I stopped rooting for Ineos and Sky.
I never liked
right after Garrett's Tour win.
I
loved that Garrett won it.
Me too.
I loved that Garrett won it because it wasn't Froome.
Yeah.
And I didn't want Froome to win anymore.
I think it's really interesting because it depends on the sport. I feel like with cycling, we see it a lot. Like a lot of like dominating teams. I mean, when it comes to soccer, we kind of are beginning to get into that range. Something that is very interesting is that I'm finding the more I get into like American football is that that's not really the case.
Yeah.
Every year you see a different team.
But Americans love a dynasty. They do.
They do.
They love that
but
shit.
I think that it can create something. It can create some crazy rivalry. I mean, between when we watched this last year's tour between UAE and Jumbo-Visma, who both brought pretty big super teams, but we also saw some great, like Carlos Rodriguez showed a great show of form through that. And I think that while these super teams can draw the attention, what we also get from it at the same time is we see these new great budding potentials of a soon-to-come super team.
Who are those super teams of the future? Does anybody have any picks? David's like, I don't even watch bike racing.
I think it's going to be the Chiefs again.
After they lost to Detroit.
That was close.
They did lose to Detroit. Yeah. I'm a fan of another podcast that's friends of the New York Giants, and they lost 40-0.
They got shit canned this last
Dallas.
weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, in cycling, do you guys? Is it going to be a continuing Jumbo-Visma domination, or is there somebody else who's going to take that mantle?
I don't. Do you guys have a team that's in Belgium? There's guys that's more riders.
I know, and because the dynamic of the sport kind of has shifted that way to individual attackers and riders. It just seems that recently Jumbo-Visma has just had a lot of those fucking riders.
I am super, super interested to see what, first of all, next year's Lidl Trek looks like. Because that is a
they're
team.
Trying to turn away from an old folks home.
Yeah. Well, I think these last couple of years have really shown, like with Mads Pedersen, with Juan P. Lopez, with even Skelmos, all of these different riders are kind of like starting to show their. Well, Mads is a former world champion, so barring him, and then all these signings are really impressive. But
I think Mads only won that race because water rolls off him like a duck's back.
Shit, it does.
Because it was sad. That race was so freaking cold.
Even his like green jersey contentions, all that stuff. He's really been. I think one of the top 10 riders of the past couple of years. Yeah. But I am super excited to see what Ineos in about 3 years looks like. Maybe even 5.
Yeah, they're starting to buy into some stuff.
Because you're
saying there's a chance.
I think there's a rebuild because they have I remember hearing in like throughout one of the races this last year, they have one of the youngest rosters in the Pro Peloton. And I mean, we've seen what the trend seems to be. Mm-hmm. It seems that the younger the better almost, and that brings along, dynasty as we talked about.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, yeah, and I heard Brailsford is back. He came back.
Oh,
things weren't going so well. I don't know if that's true. I just heard that on a whim.
Gains are back.
Like, really?
Wow.
So, yeah. All of a sudden, things are going to change.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what that team looks like.
Well, do you guys have a team that you don't like?
I don't really like Movistar.
Really?
I think from a couple of years ago.
It's not because of winning. That's for
they
sure.
haven't won shit.
Mateo's gone. So,
he's going to where?
Jumbo
Visma.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, we know it won't be Jumbo next year.
No.
What will it be?
Exactly.
Jumbo, the chain is pulled out, so they're looking for sponsors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do have a little bit of an annoyance with Jumbo Visma. I think that I see the constant winning and everything, and everybody expects it in a little while. And after a little while, I go, like I love Wout, but then I'm like, that team again?
I still have a problem with Cofidis.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't know why. I always have.
They're a pesky little fly.
They are.
Give them a little, it's like
the studio tonight.
Yeah.
How
about Soudal Quickstep? A lot of people like to hate them.
That's a controversial team. I feel like they always start something.
There are riders that I really like on that team. Obviously, one of whom I've had on the show. There are I like the Alaphilippes of the world. Mm-hmm. Patrick Lefevre just seems like he would be a great director of Legion. He's just a shitster.
Kind of you. It's kind of you.
Yeah. Thank you. He's a shitster. And he was bashing on Remco in some random comments recently when Remco lost 27 minutes in the Vuelta. He's like, well, he wasn't sick. We know that. And it's like, dude, shut up.
I'd love to see Remco on a new team.
You would.
I think he could do a lot better on a different team.
I think that kid's got some growing up to do, but I like his.
I'm just going to quote what he said.
What?
So this is what Lefebvre,
you're going to quote
Lefebvre said.
What I'm
It'll
paraphrasing?
be kind of semi-paraphrasing because
Okay.
I can't nail it. And they said, "What do you think of Remco's, performance?" And he goes, "He has kind of like he's lucky I was in Belgium."
Oh
Jesus.
my God, that's what a terrible environment to foster success in.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know how he operates, but
Why won't you love me, Dad?
Yeah.
But he has success, and there's some loyalty in there. There's some guys that are so loyal. So whether this is a front, I doubt it. But certain personalities perform for certain types of people.
I wonder why Sam Bennett hasn't won anything in 2 years.
He's a mental midget.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh man.
But part of me wonders if that team created that.
Yeah.
He won.
Put him in
He
there.
didn't.
Broke him.
He was with Bora, and he was pissed off because they were pushing Ackerman, and he was German. This is a German team.
Yeah.
So Lefebvre brings him in. He wins the green jersey and starts winning. And then he says, "I don't like Lefebvre," and so then he goes to Bora, and what has he done?
Fucking nothing.
Yeah. Anybody who leaves Quickstep and Lefebvre, they don't seem to do
Burns
anything.
Burns him. That's how hot your mic is. Did you hear that? That's how hot your mic is. And look how far it is away from your face. Look how far it is away from your face. Look how close mine is. If I stick my tongue out, I could hit it.
I'm trying to speak up.
No.
He's really been working hard this past year.
Should I open my mouth?
No, it's just.
Put it on?
It's just what happens is occasionally your mic gets farther away, and if you bring it closer to your face, it does magic.
I think you're doing a great job, David.
Thank you. I feel like I've made massive strides.
You have.
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah.
And I'm mean, and I'm being a bull.
Yeah, jeez.
I'm sorry, David. You get a ribbon. Let's go. Let's move on to our pack filler picks. To Sam, it's supposed to be Sam if we were going in proper rotation.
So glad he's not here.
Shit, right?
I know.
So it's my night, and I got three picks. I got 3 picks, and our first one is going to be
But it gets to me
from
now.
all available on the Amazon Marketplace. And by the way, yes, we get a couple shekels when you do this. My first one is, the power meters are insane with pricing and stuff like that. Yeah. And I know that some are more accurate than others, and some, do something like, I don't know, read your blood alcohol content or some shit like that, and stuff like. Wouldn't that be horrible?
Yeah.
Take it off. I can't get over
that
one. And my first, I own these Favero Asiomiya pedal-based power meters. It's basically a look clip design, and it is just a left pedal only. And
You don't get the right one?
no, you can. You can buy the right one, and it's just quite a bit more. And so I bought these because, I'm getting a number. I'm learning a number. What is the double?
You mean you don't get the right power meter, but you get a right pedal?
Yes,
Yeah,
you get
you
both
get a right
pedals.
pedal.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
only
what
reads
the
the strain gauge is on the left.
The left is the only one that reads power.
Fair.
And so I get a consistent number. It might not be the exact number, but I know what numbers I'm putting, so I can base my training upon it. At $495 is the price for this pedal system.
Look cleats
Yeah.
work,
Yes,
not Shimano.
not Shimano. Look
Yeah,
cleats.
I use
I have
Look.
look red cleats,
Yeah.
and they work great. No, I have look gray cleats.
As do I.
Great.
Yeah.
The flow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's a great buy. I recommend those. You guys, Paul, you're not on power.
No.
Never.
Why do I want to see something diminish every year?
My God.
my skin's falling off my body. My balls are dropping. Why in the hell do I want to see my power drop too? Jesus.
Fair enough, David. Did your bike come with power? Your new bike kit?
I had to get a power meter. I put a crank-based one, but it's like largely, left-sided.
Oh, it's only left. Do you get the other crank arm?
No, because I
That's
think
stupid.
I think the left is all you need. Like
Yeah.
it gives you an estimate of your left-right balance, and like you don't need to spend twice that for 2 power meters. It's all relative.
Thank you,
Yeah, I'm with
Jackson. You're on the same ones
I am, and
because I bought them for you for Christmas.
Well, yeah, I know, and I enjoy them. Super easy charging process. I also find that my right leg is is not way stronger, but like I would consider my right leg to be the stronger, more dominant of the legs, and to see that my quote unquote weaker leg is the one under,
Really,
like
it's interesting.
under observance.
Okay,
Is beneficial.
So during soccer, you must have been on the right hand side.
I was, but I write with my left hand, so I'm weird.
I really
Well,
weird.
thank your father for that one.
Right-footed?
Yeah.
I'm right-footed.
Yeah, we got southpaws.
Yeah.
Strongly right-footed. I can
And the
do
right
nothing.
foot's stronger.
Yeah, right leg I would find to be stronger.
Yeah, he's
I have no idea
Checks
which.
out.
Yeah.
What did you say?
What does that
That
mean?
checks out. Well, it seems normal. I've always thought it was weird. My left leg's definitely stronger.
Checks out. You're
My-
screwed up.
my
That
whole
makes more
left side-
sense because you're an idiot.
My whole left side is worthless. Absolutely worthless.
Left
Left
nut,
leg, left
everything.
arm, everything.
So
Yeah.
my next is is a good proper multi-tool. I've had a Crank Brothers multi-tool. This is a newer one. I have had a Crank Brothers tool for at least 20 years. It has lasted me that long.
Such a classic.
These guys build bomb-proof tools. It has got 19 tools on it, including a chain breaker, which is just, and it's perfect for riding on the road. Paul's kind of roll his eyes at me because he's like, I just take an Allen wrench and a tire iron. And
No, I've got a small.
God's
I
good.
want a
tubeless tire.
small little
Tubeless
kit
tire.
like that in a race from Park.
Yeah,
I have a Park
okay.
version of that, but it doesn't have a chain breaker because I ride on the road and there's no reason to ever get to that point
Really?
and to use a chain
Well,
breaker.
he got those $8.99 chains. Like you change your chain like every week. Or
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what you do. So, but
did-
they're good. And in fact, I used mine today. My seat was creaking and I had to pull over,
Yeah.
tighten it up. They're good to carry.
David found out how good this one is when he used mine.
Yep.
Wow.
Tighten
While
his
they were
headset.
waiting for me getting to the top of the hill.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is-
These are all links we have on the homepage of the website. This is Crank Brothers Multi-Tool 19 Black Midnight Edition. They come in colors, in other words.
Yeah, I have a blue and black one. They're
They-
nice to have
Yeah.
all of this stuff when you're on the road.
Yeah, and I overpack.
Me too.
I've been accused of overpacking
Yep.
with tools and paranoid stuff like that. And I understand it, and I know I have a problem. And it is the time of year for indoor training, and not gonna lie to you guys. I don't own this one, but I'm gonna buy this one. I looked on, and because yes, Wahoo, we have a little bit of a relationship with Wahoo, and they do amazing stuff. But I'm not spending $400 for a fan.
No.
On Wahoo.
Is that the price of it?
I think it's $399. I think so. I could be off. But it adjusts to your heart rate, and it'll blow faster depending upon your speed or your heart rate, which is unfreaking believable.
It's
really
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
If I had all the money in the world, I would buy it. Yep. But I looked online and I found this Lasco high velocity pivoting utility blower fan for the kind like drying out your house if the carpets get flooded. Nice. It's not huge. It's smaller than it looks, and it's lightweight. And I'm like going, that sucker looks like it could blow my hair back while I'm on a trainer. And I've discovered I have like 3 fans in my workout room, and the only ones that really work great, you put on the floor right at the base of your bike and you blow it up at your face. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be the best solution for me. And this is an $85 fan that you could treat like shit. And it's got a circuit breaker. It's got 2 plugs on the side of it, for crying out loud.
Yeah, what are the plugs for?
Extending out. If you could probably plug in your trainer into that.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
cool.
It's like a power strip
and
a fan. Yeah, so
they do now. They do. Yeah,
trainers need plugs.
Yeah, how do you think it's going to get? How do you think it's smart? It's got to have power.
Can't they use my watts, bro?
Yeah,
no, it's got to read your watts.
It's got to be powered. Yeah,
the strain gauge is in the machine.
They can't like use my watts to get going.
You know what?
It has to read your watts, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe you, man.
Technology should be better.
It is. It's way better once you start.
It is better. Yeah, you just got to step out of 1996. Holy shit!
He's still got the fans on his
trainer.
He's still in residency. He sees dollar signs coming through. He's like, God dang it!
God.
Yeah. And I will say that, and this is a slight sponsor plug, is I also have a set of Goodr's the clear lenses that are the gaming glasses, because if with all these fans on me, I finish every ride and my eyes are so dry, it's like it's just crunchy whenever I blink. But I don't know what your guys is set up, but I've got a separate room. I open windows, and I still have like 4 fans on me.
I don't even use a fan.
You don't?
No.
Just because you want to suffer.
boil myself.
You really? You're shitting me.
Serious.
Great way.
You're serious.
I bought a really cheap fan. It barely works, but sometimes it works okay.
I turn the fireplace on and the space heater.
There you go.
Yeah. Wow.
And then directly afterwards, go in my hot tub.
Yeah. Eddie Merckx used to do it in the sauna. Eddie Merckx did it in the sauna.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How the man's still alive, I don't know. But this one's $85 on Amazon. So that's my deal. Jackson, do you fan out?
Yes, because I have found that if not properly cooled, I cannot continue with all of the workouts that I hope to achieve.
Amen.
And your heart rate goes so much higher when you're on the trainer. So much higher. Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And just half the time. You know, I'm maxing out everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
Blood pressure's going up. Everything.
See the article now. Local
testosterone.
Man, Paul Main found dead in a pool of his own sweat.
Yep.
Let's do an Ask Dr. David. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. A couple beers into you. Last night you ended with quite possibly the quote of the show. So we'll see how it goes tonight. Tonight's question is kind of like brushing your teeth. Tonight's question is kind of like brushing your teeth. We all know it helps, but sometimes we get a little lazy.
So, okay, can I stop you there? I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that is necessarily true. I feel like you should always brush your teeth.
There aren't nights that you skip brushing your teeth.
It's rare anymore.
That's
Are
your
you
problem, buddy.
shitting me? You guys don't just like going, I'll brush in the morning.
No.
Never.
Not often.
Maybe
the heck's
on
wrong?
one hand, I could count the number of times in my life where I didn't brush my teeth before bed.
You guys haven't ever woken up with the proper sweater on your teeth because you drank too much.
Only when
and
I
you
passed out from the
That's
night
the-
before.
That's way
it.
different.
So cast the first stin, you asshole. Come on.
It's
But
true.
like-
You've had more time.
Yeah.
Anyways, as you were saying.
Now I'm going to talk with my lips over my teeth because I'm worried about you guys thinking I'm from
They
the
are
UK
getting a
or
little
something.
Well,
green.
you
Are they a
did
little-
kind of.
Yeah.
You did just kind of out yourself a little.
Yeah, there we go.
Put a little toothpaste on that.
Yeah. Oh, you got some squeak.
Can you hear the squeak?
Yeah, that's good.
We're gonna talk about stretching. And we're going to ask the question to the panel about how often, how much, and do you do it before or after, or both, and what's the proper stretching routine? And we know it's probably going to be more than we do, right? Are we all going to agree?
Yeah.
Jackson, how often do you stretch? How often do you think you should stretch?
I will answer the question indirectly. I can't really touch my toes. There you go.
Problem solved.
Bada bing, bada bang.
Paul?
Well, I liked it best when I practiced yoga about 2 times a week.
Yep.
That was awesome. I don't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But
have you ever farted in a yoga class?
No, but I've been next to a lady that did.
My wife's biggest fear, she won't do yoga with me.
Yeah.
She won't do yoga with me because she's terrified of farting in a yoga class.
It happens all the time.
I would just like, oh, geez.
That was me, everybody. Yeah.
Yep, don't look at her.
My God, this is relaxing.
You're blowing on the ceiling.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never, ever stretched before or
yoga.
after.
Sorry. Anyway.
Never stretched before.
You never do.
Never. But if I stay limber, then it's not a problem.
Yeah.
So that's how I
speaking
do
as
it.
somebody who's got consistent aches and pains, especially in my shoulders and back and stuff like that, I know I need to do it more often, but I don't know when to do it because the old theory was you do it beforehand to warm up, right? And then there was this reverse theory that you do it to cool down. And then, do you do a full body stretch? What are the stretches you focus upon? Is it sport specific? And then you just, all these questions are spinning around your head and you're just like going, fuck
Screw
it, let's
it,
go
I'm
for
not
a
gonna
ride.
brush
Yeah,
my
let's go
teeth.
for a ride. I'm not going to brush my teeth.
Fuck it,
Yeah.
let's go over here.
What dentists are for?
Yeah.
It's the only time I brush my teeth.
Yeah. We just totally ruin your medical profession every time we do one of these, don't we?
Well,
Because we just-
no,
Like, kinda.
I feel like we've had some good ones the last few weeks.
well, this one isn't good.
No, it's a good one. Yeah.
I
think
posed the question to you earlier in the day. You could always fucking reply.
And please finish with, if you stretch with your wife, it'll improve your marital
life.
Yeah,
life.
there we
Yep.
go.
Stretch
Yeah.
with your
Yeah.
wife. Improve your life. That's true.
Okay.
That's true. Yep. They have
Problem solved.
hot yoga for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come up with a rhyme, and I'll work on it while you're responding.
Unfortunately, it's been shown time and time again with exercise that stretching is beneficial.
Before?
I don't exactly know if it's before or after. But stretching, I would have to imagine afterwards because especially in cycling, you're in a fixed position, you're flexed forwards, you're using largely only a certain percentage of your muscles, and you need to stretch afterwards to avoid imbalances in terms of, like, you don't want one muscle to be bigger than the opposing muscle on the other side of your body. And so you need to stretch to keep things in balance. This has been shown to reduce injuries, overuse injuries, like all this. It sucks because stretching sucks, but it
does.
helps.
It hurts like shit.
I love it, but I
But
just don't do it.
yoga could be a very practical alternative. I personally would stretch afterwards because you've tightened certain muscles and loosened others during your activity, and then you can stretch to go out of it. But I agree, it's got to be activity specific. In cycling, there's certain muscles you'd have to stretch because you're hunched over and you're doing the same motion over and over again that you're not going to have to stretch in football where you're just whatever it is they do, running around tackling
6
each other.
seconds.
Yeah.
Stop for
6
45.
seconds.
Concussions.
6 seconds.
Yeah.
Concussions.
Yeah, a lot of hugs and
Do a
stuff.
math problem.
Yeah,
Butt slapping.
yeah,
you know.
butt slapping and hugs is whatever they do. So yeah, unfortunately, we should all be stretching. I have never stretched before a bike ride. I'm looking at you because you said
Yeah.
it, and I
Oh.
think I could count on one hand how many times I've stretched afterwards. But I also have the worst hip flexor hypertrophy because I have never gone through the proper stretching.
That's
You know, I was thinking while you were talking, it's a good thing your brother isn't
Not
here
listening to
because
it.
he,
oh, he'd be
he's
so
gonna-
pissed.
Oh my God, this is a
he's
question
in the
for
fifth
Sam,
dimension
yeah.
right now going,
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. This is half my
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, it's obnoxious. We should all be stretching. I would say do it after your race though, or your ride.
After.
That's my advice. And then
immediately later on.
I think you could do it like in that peri 1 hour period where you're like cooling down, eating something, and
after you
stretching.
had your protein drink.
If that's what you do, yeah. If you're Sam, And then, inevitably we do a sport that's going to cause imbalances and you're going to have to go see a physical therapist and do other things. So.
And then he says your doctor's a quack.
Yeah.
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 Physical
You never should have stretched in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Just
God.
live life on a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No problems.
Final question, the final K. We got to do this quickly, but I've had this final K for the last 4 shows.
Make it happen.
Question starts with a Q.
I know. That's the final kilometer, but I call it the final question. K. Final It's a play on words. Goddammit.
Phonetically, it works.
I get
Jesus.
it.
You can learn shit in school and learn to be a doctor.
Sorry,
There's so much stuff you need to
I need to go back to school. You're so
pick up
right.
on. Yeah. No. School life,
You need
man.
more time.
School
Okay.
life.
More
What
life.
you need is you just need out. You need to be released into the
Yeah.
wild.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, quick response. Your best day on the bike this summer. What was your best day on the bike this summer? I'll give you a second to think about it. Well, and I'll answer mine. I think I've done this. I think I already did. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but my best day on the bike this summer was the Missoula road race, because even though I was dropped, which is funny, I was catching people, and the people I caught, I was an element. I was a part of it. I felt strong. I was pulling through. I was.
Oh,
the
you
person
didn't do
who was
the A
doing
group
lion's share
because
of the
there's
work.
no way you would.
No, exactly. I raced B's. And so my expectations were lowered, which made me feel better about myself. It's just like, it's like if I'm going to play football, I'm going to play football in the Pee Wee League with a bunch of kids, because then it's like when Kramer
is
was doing karate with kids because he could kick ass. The guys I rode with in that group, one of whom was John Stoker.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
John rode strong. He
Yes, he
he sprinted around me after I clearly did more work in the break, and I'm a little pissed at him about that one. But
right.
I don't know if he's listening now, but I'm calling you out, John. Best day on the bike. Anybody want to go next this summer?
Best day on the bike was probably when I received my bike. Well, it was like a culmination of
Back on my bike.
when I actually got it back, because it was a culmination of like, God, this has been really like emotionally draining. Like I didn't have rehab, for Christ's sake, but like getting back into it, going through all the aches and pains again, and just having that moment of like, this is what it feels like to be back. It was really, really inspiring.
It's like getting
Not
back from a
inspiring.
long trip and sleeping in your own bed again.
Yeah. It was inspiring. I felt like I wanted to get back into it again.
And and it has obviously continued to do that.
Yeah.
All right. Paul?
Mine was a series. It was all on RC3 because it was probably the first time, things were clicking and stuff. I made mistakes, but still it was still very enjoyable. And John Stoker promoted that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
you.
No. Hey, great race promoter. Just, he took advantage of me, and I feel
Well, he's probably thinking,
Spurs.
God, he's stupid. He's not even
dumbass.
asking
I'm
me
gonna
to pull
sprint around
through.
him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's Dallas.
He won that challenge. Yeah. David, what'd you got?
Oh man, I've had a lot of good days this year. That like mentally good days, but I think the one that stands out was getting ready for Montana. I went and did there was like a 100-mile ride I did by myself.
I remember that.
Yep.
Seeing that. Yeah.
And I just felt so good for almost the whole thing. Like the last 5 to 10 miles, I started to feel pretty bad. But I just remember like cruising back mile 80, feeling like so dang good. And like the whole time, all this time to myself to think and do whatever I wanted in my head, like being alone the whole time. It was amazing. That was a phenomenal ride. I felt good the whole time, and I felt good about the effort. And so that was a good one. Yeah.
In Montana, did you think, God dang, why didn't I save that for this
Honestly,
day?
Montana was one of the closer ones, because that race to me, that was
The
one of
road race?
Yeah, I felt really good about that road race, like staying in there in that second group.
Yeah. You know what? That's why we do it, and you keep going because you're hoping that one of those days is going to be that day. Do we have a book of matches for our entire year? Maybe. I don't know. But that's what makes it so cool. Is hoping for those moments.
But to reiterate what you said, so Bob Roll had his first book called Bob Key.
Yeah.
Or it's actually should be pronounced Bobka.
Bubka.
Yeah. So, but somebody was interviewing him saying, what's racing bikes like? And he says 97% of the time you're feeling miserable, you're suffering and stuff like that. Why do you do it? It's the 3%.
Yeah.
The 3% you just feel on top of the world. There's nothing better than that.
Will you ever come back? Of course. The
Of
most
course.
beautiful race in the world.
Yeah. Teo DeRoy.
Exactly. Yeah. Both of whom have been on the podcast.
Yeah.
So look those up. Those are on the website. So that brings us to the end, you guys. Speaking of which, be sure to like and subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel. And we've been getting subscribers. Yeah, I guess it is. On our YouTube channel. I love seeing those numbers go up. Thank you, guys. It takes little from you, but it does amazing things for us in terms of monetizing. And yes, we want to keep the boat afloat. So thank you guys so much. And to our, that's it. I got nothing else. Anybody got anything else? That's all. I got to get more.
When's the beer mile?
Sam's coming back next week. Sorry, guys.
This is 380. This is 399. So I think we have to do the beer 4 mile within the next 2 weeks.
I will be there.
So will Paul.
Is it going to be? Oh, I'll be there.
Yeah. Is it going to be what? Is it going to be the episode?
Are we going to? Yeah.
I don't think we'll do it on a Tuesday night. I think we should do it
on
on a Saturday.
Where there be film.
Oh God, yes.
Okay.
We will live stream the damn thing.
I think
Jackson, are we
I
live
think-
streaming because you're just going to sit back and be
think-
wearing regular clothes?
Well, I think it's beneficial for your social image to have one person of right mindset filming it,
My wife could come.
and so will I.
Yeah. All right.
So I'll keep it all rolling.
Jackson will. So you'll be our play-by-play. You'll run the cameras. You'll do that kind of stuff. I see we just do it in the carport right out here.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fine. And so I'm doing this also to help promote, so people can get primed. We're
Yeah,
priming
absolutely.
the pump here.
Absolutely.
So we're going to select the same beer. I think
We
what
all
we're
do the
drinking
same
right
beer?
now. Yep.
The red?
Yeah.
This thing's kind of potent.
And
Well, you know what?
Part of the fun. Bud.
You know what? I have 2 empty cake spots. So maybe one of which will be a pills. Pills. Oh, don't say it. Jack got mad at me for saying pervy pills. He thinks it's bad.
Oh.
Hi, Jack.
Do we need an explanation of the
Finish the
phrase?
bathroom.
Yes.
It is because David was becoming childish in
And
humor.
sophomoric.
Yes. We became idiots.
Yes.
When we
Whilst
drank.
drinking
You
certain
primarily. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody said, you know what, you're juggling a lot of balls in the air right now.
And you giggle.
That's hilarious.
I don't think you need the pills for that one.
So
There it is.
we are 2 weeks shy of the
Okay.
Beer 4 Mile, and I will be wearing the kit of shame. And we should probably start getting some social media out there, and I will make a specific viewing page for it on the website so people can log in and watch us.
Inclusion
be
and the
absolutely
rules
idiots.
and what's going to happen and how we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Just saying I could do it Tuesday.
Well, that doesn't matter.
All right.
I work the
You
next
have
day.
a really crappy high school teacher the next day.
Yeah.
I don't care. Just do
Yeah.
something. I'm going to sleep on my desk. So
Friday,
there we go.
Saturday, or
There we go. Thank you guys so much. Thanks everybody for being here.
thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks to the Bee for freaking everybody out.
Mwah.